And I believe David Almasi is here to present proposal number 4.
Hi, as you said, I'm David Almasi. I'm the Vice President of the National Center for Public Policy Research. We are a shareholder. I want to explain to you our shareholder proposal entitled Political Lobbying and Contributions. We had 2 goals in filing this proposal. The first goal was to block a shareholder proposal from the New York State Comptroller from making it onto the GE proxy statement. We succeeded in doing that. The second goal is to encourage the company to stand up for its values and pro-capitalist agenda in face of attacks from the the New York State Comptroller and his cohorts. We didn't know for sure that the New York State Comptroller and the New York State Common Retirement Fund would be the specific group to file the anti-free speech proposal, but we had a good idea it would come from the anti-capitalist As You Sow network. Last year, you may remember, the Philadelphia Public Employees Retirement System filed a similar proposal with GE. So we filed a resolution this year with similar language, but with a pro-business message. Since the Securities and Exchange Commission has a first-in-time rule, and ours was in first, the New York State Comptroller's proposal won't see the light of day. GE investors should share that result. The New York State Comptroller, working with a broad network of liberal groups attempting to use American corporations to silence speech and to fund advocates of free enterprise, are doing these sorts of things. Following the U.S. Supreme Court's 2010 Citizens United decision, this network has filed hundreds of resolutions complaining about the alleged lack of transparency and accountability in corporate lobbying and political activity. However, such groups never express concern about the billions of corporate dollars that go to fund liberal causes and politicians. Herein lies the hypocrisy of that proposal. This liberal network abhors corporate speech when it's perceived to skew to the political right, yet it remains silent when the speech supports leftist causes. The As You Sow network has tried to co-opt GE's investors into anti-free speech efforts in prior years, and its proposals received nearly 30% support. That's appallingly high. Many investors were perhaps misled by As You Sow's apparent calls for transparency and accountability. We hope investors will now understand this network's extremely partisan nature and deceptive tactics. This network complains that corporate relationships with groups such as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC, the Business Roundtable, the National Association of Manufacturers, and other pro-business organizations expose companies such as GE to reputational risk. Considering that the network regularly smears these free market groups, it's a circular argument with no basis in fact. Groups such as the Chamber and ALEC promote a fair economic environment devoid of excessive government regulations and onerous corporate taxation. Such an environment would help and not harm General Electric. But that's just what the New York Comptroller and As You Sow want, to end American capitalism and destroy private enterprise. My fellow shareholders, in future years and on other corporate proxy statements, if you see a proposal from the New York Comptroller or any other group in the As You Sow orbit that seems to beg for transparency and accountability, please vote those down too. Thank you.
Thank you, David.